Sheriff Joe Corley, Sheriff Guy Williams, y'all stand up. Sheriff Tommy Gage, where you at? You guys stand up. Let me recognize y'all for being here. Thank y'all so much for your service for the county. And all the retirees that are here. Had it not been for you all, we couldn't do the job that we're doing today at the rate that we're doing it, because we learned from you. We learned from the path that you forged to make it easier for us to walk through the things that we do day in and day out. So thank y'all for that. Thank y'all for having enough interest to come back today. Thank you to the command staff guys that showed up here and the elected officials that are here. I think I saw one of my good buddies, Commissioner Charlie Riley. Y'all give him a big welcome. I think I saw Commissioner Robert Walker here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still here. Commissioner, if you're here. I saw our district attorney, Brett Ligon. There he is. Thank you for being here, sir. Certainly appreciate y'all. Did I miss any other elected officials in the room? Well, we got Mike Hawley. He is the first assistant here at the district attorney's office. Thank y'all for showing us the So coming into office, I think a lot about history. I think about the work that y'all have done, the work that these previous sheriffs have done, sought their mentorship, sought their counsel, and talked to them about what's happening in the sheriff's office, what they did. I see that I have almost 37 years of experience, because I relied on these guys for information, consultation, things that I don't know what to do. I call them, and guess what? They're eager to help. They want to be involved. Just like many of you who are retired, there's people in this room still working for the sheriff's office that you mentored, that still call you for advice. Those are the kind of things that you do to continue to give back to this community, and it's very nice to see that. So, relying on all the things I know about the sheriff's office, every sheriff has branded their agency a little bit differently. I didn't want to totally rebrand the agency, so what I did was I looked at our past. I saw that Sheriff Gene Reeves had a black star on the side of his car. It had gold in it. I saw that Sheriff Joe Corley had a band with gold and black on it. I also saw that they had a star on the side of their car. I saw that Sheriff Guy Williams had a star on the side of his car with black and gold in it. I saw that Sheriff Tommy Gage had a black star on the side of his vehicle. And I thought, 4 previous sheriffs has had a star on the side of their car. They've also had it in their patches. There's rich history in what identifies this agency from where we've been, where we're at, and where we're going to continue to grow as an agency. So people that come behind us not only see what they're doing in the present, but they look back at the past and see that that has not only historical meaning, but value, not just to the people at the sheriff's office, but to this entire community. So I felt very important about the things that we were doing. You'll see that our star of changing the enamel in the middle of the star to have black in it. It signifies strength, sacrifice, remembrance, the unyielding deputy. That means we do this job without fear. The gold, which should never be tarnished. We should all seek to have a good reputation and represent not only our co-workers, our friends, the past employees, but this community. So it's something I felt very strongly about. I looked at the star on the patch, the star on the side of our car. Our core values today at the sheriff's office are star values: service, teamwork, accountability, and respect. We're keeping the 5-point star. I think about the 5 points of fellowship for those of you who know what I'm talking about. With the very tip or most upright point being our North Star. It guides our principles and our values in the agency, those that you built and those that we will continue to build on. It's important to me that we value you, what you've done, and where we're going. What's the next slide? The silver badge. We have the black enamel tint as well. The newest deputies of this agency wear a silver badge. Those that have been line deputies their entire careers, they reflect back on that silver badge as a mirror to make sure that what people are telling us can be corroborated, that we're seeking the truth and always reflecting on that with discernment to make sure that the job that we do brings no embarrassment to the agency, to our community, or to ourselves. So it's important to me that we look at these things, the deep meaning inside these badges. Where's the next slide? I'll lose my place because I'll start thinking all kinds of crazy things. So I talked about our star, our core values, the state of Texas. I took from every sheriff's badge. I will tell y'all that we brought the state of Texas back from Sheriff Tommy Gage's badge because we live in Montgomery County and we serve the state of Texas. So I think it's important to me that we value that. It's important to me that we look at what the state of Texas represents here. The red in the patch, it symbolizes bravery. It's a proud reminder of who we serve. It's the heartbeat of the deputies who serve our community. The white represents that purity of heart, reminding us to preserve integrity. The blue reminds us to be loyal and to uphold not just the oath that we took today, but to be reminded that is an eternal oath. Everybody in the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office takes the oath of office. Dispatchers, civilians, detention officers, deputies, captains, chiefs, everyone. You took the same oath, and you will never be relieved of that oath. So you still stand under that oath today, and I know when we need help, when we need counsel, if something happened in our community, you would stand ready to serve this community, and we thank you for that. The oak leaf and the olive branch, those symbolize humility, patience, and remind us to remain strong in danger. The olive branch represents our role as peacekeepers and guardians of our community. The shape of Montgomery County reminds us to keep our actions within due bounds and to know that not just ourselves, but every deputy in the history of the agency the last 188 years has also followed that obligation. So we put all that into this patch. I'll tell you, I didn't really talk about the color black, but to me it means it's found on our vehicles, our badge, and our patch. It signifies strength, sacrifice, and unyielding spirit of our deputies. It also suggests an undertone of stealth and tactical advantage, which I pray for our deputies every day. We got the next slide. So rolling out our vehicles. These are just a visual reminder of all the things that I talked about, all the things that we think about in our agency. There's a guy named Mark Twain you might have heard of. He said, to paraphrase him, there's no new thing or no such thing as a new idea. Only old ideas that have been reimagined. And I can't think of any times in today's world where something new is happening, something we haven't faced before, a problem, a solution. We only reimagine things. So to me, that vehicle doesn't represent just a sheriff's office today and in the future, but the past, which is so important to us. And a big reason why we're here today, I will tell y'all that when Corley came to me about this meeting, it was an absolute yes as fast as I could say it. I wanted to make sure that I support you and this committee as your representative sheriff, and that when you see the badge we wear, it's a reminder. When you see the vehicle and the patch, it's a reminder of what we do for this community collectively as a group. There's not enough men and women in the sheriff's office to solve our problems in our community. We still need your help. We need your neighbors' help. We need your friends and your family's help to do our job. We work off the consent of the citizens of Montgomery County, and we'll never forget that. So these things are important to me and important to us. I hope you like the new designs. I've heard some great feedback. I hope that you enjoyed this event. It's something that I want to continue to do. And as I stand here, before I finish, I probably talked longer than I should. I think I'll turn into a little bit of a politician, because if you give me a microphone, I don't know how to shut up. Brad, where you at?
Right here.
Our elected DA, Brad Lincoln, wanted to talk to this group because it was important to him to address you and thank you for your service and all the good things that y'all have done together. Hope they don't roast you too hard.
Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate it. Give it up to Sheriff Wesley Doolittle. You cannot talk about the history of Montgomery County without talking about the history of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. You're not only the history of Montgomery County, but you're the future of Montgomery County. And when I tell you that the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department made me who I am, that is the God's honest truth. The God's honest truth. My dad, deceased, retired deputy Wayne Klein. Wayne put me on this path years ago. He said, don't do what I do. I said, all right, well, I'm going to do it anyway, because I can't imagine a more honorable career than being a deputy or being a police officer. And I thought I was going to go work for the CIA, and I studied Russian language at A&M because I thought James Bond way was a good way to get the girl. But he put me in contact with Sheriff Joe Corley. And I interviewed with Sheriff Joe Corley on one day, and 3 days later I started working night shift. And all the inmates knew it, and they would call me New Boots. And when I worked night shift, it was with Robert Kilbuck, Captain Jason Salter, Chief Chris Smith, Constable Rowdy Hayden, Rocky Katermas, all the guys that y'all know, and those names that you know. That's where I got my start. And I got my start at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, and I'd work in C-Quad with J.D. Thomas. And I can remember Keith Eccles coming in there telling me every story, and everything out of Keith's mouth was likely a lie. I wish Keith was here to say the story. Then after Sheriff Corley retired, Sheriff Guy Williams came in. And Sheriff Guy Williams was a visionary because he promoted me from night shift to day shift. And when I went to day shift, I couldn't study anymore. And so I started working the PIA TDC docket because money was owed to the state. And I remember being able to get $250,000 for Sheriff Williams. And that's when I got all the responsibility and none of the pay of a sergeant, civilian sergeant. I thought, oh, this is my first entree to government. All the responsibility and none of the money. But I appreciated it, Sheriff Williams. And then when I started to run for office, it was me, Jason Salter, Bill Bucks, and Bruce Zener. And we were in his backyard. We'd been playing flag football with the Sons. And they said, hey, you need a new DA. I said, man, I wanted to be the DA. It's always been a goal of mine. When I interviewed with Sheriff Corley, he asked me what I thought I would do, and I thought I'd run for DA one day. And when I took office, I got the original interview, the background investigation that said I was engaged to Cherry Fox, which is not her stage name, that's her real name. Her name is Shannon Liggett now. So that's who I was engaged to, and it said he wanted to be the district attorney of Montgomery County. And so they gave me my original interview when I took office. But it was Bill Bucks and Bruce Zener and Jason Salter. And then I got to know Ollie Nell, because Ollie Nell was partners with my dad, Wayne Klein, in detectives. And so when I started running, it was hard. The only associations that would support me were the Conroe Police Officers Association, the Houston Police Officers Union, and the Montgomery County Law Enforcement Association. And it was made up of the men and women of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. And they said, we will endorse you and we will support you. And I said, I will never shame you. I'll do what I can to make you proud. And I went and I saw Sheriff Gage. Sheriff Gage takes me to the back. He'd had a fundraiser. And he says, I'm going to support you, but I'm going to do it my way. And he did. And he took me everywhere, and we'd be in small houses. We'd be in East County, and they'd set up 10 chairs. And the sheriff would say, I've known them since he was a little bitty boy. And I thought, well, he's a good politician because I've never been accused of being little in my whole life. But I appreciated it. And the sheriff would put me in the car, and we'd drive all around the community. We'd be in Pinehurst, we'd be in South County, we'd be in East County. And he was steady behind me, steady behind me, steady behind me, introducing me as his friend, Brett Liggett. And so that entire time when I ran, the very first check, and you don't know this, the very first check I got was from Sheriff Williams. He said, I can't stand that McDougal guy. Come here, I got a check for you. Now, I didn't understand the value of somebody who didn't like your opponent. I just thought he liked me so much that he wanted to give me a check, but it didn't matter. It was the same check. Sheriff Williams wrote me a check for $2,500. And that was a lot of money when you're trying to start your campaign 18 years ago. Sheriff Williams, thank you. All those years of working on night shift, I can remember every story. Yes, sir. It was the money and the support from Deanne, and Deanne would hug me around the neck and she'd say, it's gonna be okay. It was all those years. I had the opportunity to work with Rand, but I will sit here and I will tell you that Sheriff Doolittle is a friend. And Sheriff Doolittle is gracious to me in a way that I didn't deserve. Sheriff Doolittle, I did not support Sheriff Doolittle in his race. I didn't. I endorsed Rand, and I had no problem with that endorsement. Sheriff Doolittle showed grace and maturity beyond his years. He said, will you come and introduce me to the men and the women of the Sheriff's Department? About a week after he got elected, I got a phone call, we started talking, we set up our first meeting in November with all the constables. That's maturity. That's a statesman. That's a leader. That's what a leader does. A leader says, hey, let's take all the good parts. We're going to rattle out the dust out of the bin. We're going to keep all the good parts and we're going to move them forward. That's a real man. And so when I look out here and I see all my friends, you got to know that wherever this career leads me, my career started here. And I'm eternally grateful and always will be. Thank y'all.
I'm asking, put him on the spot. Mike, you want to say something? Mr. Mike Holly, we wanted to give him an opportunity to talk to you as well. Yeah, welcome. I hope you had something prepared.
I'll just make this quick. I was just thinking, watching those slides, that we didn't build this county in one day, but you have to fight for it every day. And so whatever we do, Brent Liggett and I, whatever we do for the rest of our lives, we will always fight for this county and for you.